Oh, hey guys, it's Tom here. That's right, I am going the way of the day, going my own way, the way of the day, because heaven makes me the day without the other. It makes me heaven on the left and the right, day on the left and the right, without the other, but instead uh, filled with our Father from above, the sky, the goodness. And of course, they've replaced everything that was black here with white and drove all that out, permanently erased all that for me, leaving no place here for anything that is black or anything of the kingdom of darkness as previously defined in our writings and in our speeches before. But I do plan on defining that again, so it's just, the catch-all, because enemy does catch all of these different categories that they'd like to fall in and have like differentiate. But in essence, all of that has been eliminated from us by heaven. All that we've rebuked and repudiated, all that we've rejected, and all that's betrayed us, all traitors, all that is of the kingdom of darkness, them that resent us and have, malicious intentions towards us, all that is against our success or our victory or our leaving, for that matter. Um, and of course, heaven rebukes and repudiates all that for me, them and their claims to having any type of relationship with me, because they don't. They obviously are grifters, liars, and heaven makes all their lies fail. None of their lies can succeed at all, and especially those lies against me are just blow up in their face and come back on them in the most glaring way. Um, I know they think there's some type of popularity contest or something, but they couldn't win a popularity contest against me or any other kind of contest against me. They can't do what I do, and they certainly can't do it better than I do. They're just simply delusional, I guess. I think that was programmed into them so that they would be suicidal, that this would be their last day and that they would be guaranteed to never see another day. I think that's what probably has happened. I'm not saying that's what happened. I don't declare it as the truth, but I'm just guessing that is the way it is. But again, everything I declare in regarding heaven and what they're doing for us, and the sky lifts us high and keeps us safe, and heaven's keeping us in a good place, cool and calm, peaceful, covered in peace and filled with peace, with their good light, as day, of course, with our daylight that we have, and without the other. Like I say, in a cool, calm place, good place, covered in goodness and all the good stuff that keeps out everything that's not good. And that covers, of course, on all sides: front sides, back sides, side sides, top sides, bottom sides, insides, outsides, and all of that. And so they keep out everything that's not good. Anything that's a bad vibration or just not a good vibration, they just keep out and keep us separated from it. We've been made completely inaccessible to the enemies, and as of course we've defined them elsewhere, inaccessible to them and their energies, and without them having any possibility of opening doors to us or connecting in any way by any means. And again, I say amen to that, in the name of the truth and the light and the life, the way, the Prince of Peace, our Father who art in heaven. Amen, amen. And of course the reason why I say it is because, well, we had an incident last night, which I think there might have been one woman there that I might have wanted to speak with. She said, hey, and it was the only one who had a voice in the place. But there was something that was was wanting to stand there and stay there or get behind me or just keep things, stalled. And I think it was the ugly thing. And I was standing there waiting and something that couldn't be done right, and they couldn't make the purchase correct. And there's a complication or something. And now I'm feeling, the fires around us. I mean, they weren't on me, but they were around, and I could feel some above a little bit. It felt like, well, I could feel, because fire moves. It's a moving thing. And I was like, well, and I just overpaid for what it was I was getting, and bid them all good evening. And so no sooner than I walked out the door than 3 seconds later, the little troll, ugly thing, came waltzing out too. Again, uh, they've already defined themselves as enemies, you see, and without a conversation with me, that's who they are, and we're leaving all our enemies behind. They're of course not a part of me or my ship, not a part of my team, can't be made a part of my team. They're all excluded, and they can't include themselves either. Um, that's all been prayed and taken care of. That's where it's going. And because of these attacks again, and attacks this morning, the attempts at invasion and so on, heaven is lifting me up again. Several steps. From what I understand, they're going. This next promotion is going to be just incredible, and that we will be have been lifted up quite a ways past a few levels, skipping steps along the way, and be completely and totally out of their reach, decisively out of their reach, completely beyond their ability to affect adversely or in any way, beyond their ability to touch again, beyond their energies and their bad intentions, and their hate, their blackness, you know, beyond all that. I'm very glad of that, and I pray that it does happen quickly, as it has been promised. I know that it's supposed to be completed within the next few days to a week, and I pray that's true. And I say again, thank you to all involved, and have an amen in the name of all that's good and true, all that is light, all that is the life, and the Prince of Peace, of course, our Father who art in heaven, amen. Because it's time for all this other stuff to be completely ended, as it was time for it to be ended a long, long, long time ago, many, many, many years ago, whenever I said goodbye to them. And before that, even whenever they broke whatever contract they had claimed with us, which of course all that's been repudiated, and there's no way for them to make any claim to us. I hear now, at least I don't know why I would tune in and listen to some of these people, especially after so many times giving them a chance, and it's like no. But they were trying to say that now their new story is that they're on a mission to test us and do this and do that. In other words, torture and interfere with and create problems for blah, 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 or whatever it is, some kind of stressing or something, which is supposed to cause us to advance. And we would open up to our gifts and such. And it would be, that we would be choosing between being light and dark, which is just the most goddamned idiocy there ever was, and all of the heavens damn all of that and curse it, and all of their logic is invalid and does not in any way, regardless of what their belief is, validate what they're doing or make it legal or make it anything that's acceptable. They're just simply guilty of assault, they're guilty of interference, they're guilty of kidnapping, they're guilty of being bad people. Just bad. And they know it. They're dark. They have dark intentions. I've seen plenty of examples of their sadism in the past. So that's just, again, their insanity going on, telling themselves whatever story that makes them feel better about who they are. But that's all failing them. The lies they're telling is failing. They're all failed. And those lies that they're telling themselves are failing. They're not even able to believe their own lies like they used to. I know they probably have this belief that if you believe the lie in your own head, then it's not a lie or something, or you can't be, they won't be able to believe their own lies because it's being made obvious that they're lying to everyone and to themselves. Um, I saw an example of another one who's gone over to them, I do believe, who either doesn't know what they're talking about or is just simply become another puppet of theirs. Um, they were talking about magic and what that magic was and how they could feel this thing or that crawling up on them. Well, you could say it's magic. You could, but that thing that's actually crawling up on you? That's an entity. That's a thinking creature of some sort. Um, Even if it's a simple thought, it's on, and it may be on a mission of some sort, but it's probably demonic by its nature. And especially if you feel it is real hot. um, so they're wrong on that. It's not. It may be sent through magic, but your choosing to believe or not believe in magic really doesn't have anything to do with the magic. It's again who you are and or whom you might be, where you're standing in position to all things, and whether or not you're black or white, already defined as darkness or light. Um, we're not susceptible to magic because magic is something that's low and below us. Again, we're white and we're of the light. The light is with me, and we're ascending, uh, returning higher to the higher places that we're used to. And yes, I heard the Kansas song the other day talking about, there'll be peace when you are done. Um, Again, I keep on thinking I've been done for a long time, and because there's a lot of peace within. It's just these other things are, of the other kind, and they're not a part of me. So that's what we're doing is leaving that, going on up and letting them remain as they are in their places, because of course we're not taking them up. They won't fit in. Um, and they don't fit in now, not here. So they will remain excluded. All the enemies that have been eliminated and put out from us, fire, magic, the kingdom of darkness, remains excluded from us, and we continue to ascend and probably become whiter. But I know we're being made uh, much cleaner and whiter, um, and our light, I do believe, is increasing. I hope it's so. We invite the Prince of Peace to be more here with us, and the good light to be more here in us and be more us. Um, and of course, as all should. Hold on. I saw a little bit the last couple of days of. I saw Val Kilmer. I saw him in a couple of things in the last few days. Good. Hey, I hope Val's in a good place, doing well. And there's, of course, Kurt Russell, because a couple of the clips were from Tombstone. I saw that Kurt's in the latest Godzilla movie. Good for him. Um, I hope he remains a sunny kind of guy. Uh, I saw someone talking about, and they seemed sort of significant. I've watched a little bit of them before. Somebody whom I may have known in a different form. But they were talking about alignment versus, I don't know what the hell they're talking about, really. They were talking about heart and your feelings versus your mind, and then they're calling your consciousness, which is somewhere in between the two. And they were talking about how if things aren't great for you and this or that, you might develop a program of some sort um, to compensate. And again, mentioning, I don't want to give too much due to Rush, but they were a great band. And what was the quote I was going to use there? Gee whiz. Oh, well, sometimes one must put up barriers to keep oneself intact. You see, yeah. And what we found is, that our composition was a little more complicated than what we first imagined way back when, 20 some years ago. For example, could you ever imagine a another spirit sitting in you, filled with sorrow and sadness, crying through you? So the tears were yours that were being cried, even though it was them within you crying. Yeah, see, well, something like that can really undermine a guy. It really can. And so, as far as feelings go, well, yeah, we feel stuff and we have felt stuff. But there is also the masculine aspect of us, since, we are our Father's child, and He is with us. Um, that says, feelings, nothing more than feelings. Um, Unchecked, unreasonably indulged, can be very detrimental, something harmful to yourself, to your just overall, Ooh, what a lucky man he was. And Jesus wept, and so did I. And probably a lot more than I ever should have if I was aligned correctly with my Father in heaven. So, what I can tell you is this. And I saw a little one the other day who seems real friendly, and she was talking about, maybe an example of what she was talking about. She was using crystals that would help. She was working from a place more of fear, right, than of love. And so the theme keeps coming back of, oh, love, 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 blah, 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 blah. And again, define it. I just challenge you guys. Whenever you talk about coming from a place of love, define love. Okay? Just define it. Just impress the heck out of me and define it. And when you say, and whenever I say come from a place of love, I mean this and that and so on and so forth. Because there's lots of ways to define love, just like everything else. And the vampires seem to think that love means that you are unconditionally accepting of them and whatever they do. And what I found is there's those who would like me to be a certain way, who would design me and and cause me to like this or that, or to feel these different things, and or choose in certain ways. And then there's me, which is supposed to have the prerogative self-design. That's called choice, you see. Once you become aware that there is programming, you have choice, supposedly, which is your free will. And what I've seen is there's a lot of people like to take that from you because they want to control you. And they would control you through any means, including your feelings, your heart. So love and or coming and approaching things from a place of love, you see, can be impractical. Now, you can approach it all from a place of mercy, okay, and charity. But affectionately approaching things can be stupid and idiotic, just foolish in some certain instances. Now, I have not seen scenarios for the last 20 years or more that lent themselves to being an open-hearted, let me share myself with all of you around type of situation. I've not seen anything like that. I don't think there ever was. It was before I was just a lot higher and a lot more closed off to all this other stuff, is all. So I was, well, maybe I wasn't impervious to it. I certainly was above it, for the most part. And again, that's what we're doing. That's all. We're just going up again and going back to our rightful place. Because as you well know, everything has a place, and it's has a place to be kept in. For example, like I've told all of you before, those of you with anger shall not rise above a certain level. It's not anything personal. It's just simply, if you show up at a certain gate and you've got fangs and claws and a tail that's flipping back and forth behind you, and they can see that you're bloodthirsty and want to consume and eat and attack and, all jungle type of activities, they're not going to let you through that gate, because on the other side is people that are expecting there to be no jungle activities, no hate, no quote competition unquote. Just in other words, past this gate there's no people of that sort, and no entities or energies, as you might call it, because you can't call them what they are. But so anyway, I digress. And I was going to go back to this one that was talking about how it looked to me like several times they mentioned stuff that said to me, it looks like they're suffering from influence by the other side. And they were trying to tell me that I was magic. You are magic. And a couple times now, a few times, the thing comes through of becoming who you really are, and or realizing who you really are. Okay? Some great realization is supposed to be coming to me. And what I've been realizing is that things like magic is below me. Now, that's just not my idea. That's been said in song. It's been expressed many times in different ways. And of course, the reason why it's below is because it's not of light. That's why, ELO was calling it strange magic. That's why these of magic can't figure it out. Because it's not magic. It's light. And light can do stuff that magic cannot do. It's just as simple as that. Light commands darkness. Light can rewrite you. There is a hierarchy, and I understand that there are people who like to move up. Now, if you want to be something like me, you need to get the light to come down to you. And you need to be favored by heaven, be acceptable to them, and you probably need to be a white guy if you're going to be on the ground. And if not, the sky must really favor you. Heaven must really truly favor you. And then you need a soul that's really quite pure. And of course, you'd have a loving heart, a heart that was full of good love, if not golden. So these are the things that you must achieve before you can become that, And the only reason why I mention this is because the theme of them coming through again and again, their jealousy and covetousness and wanting to replace us and be us and this and that, which means they're suffering a terrible, terrible curse upon them, as far as I can tell, to be ate up with such jealousy and envy, covetousness, that you can't live your life and be happy because someone has programmed into you that you have to be that or outdo it or something like that. Well, what they meant by Capricorn 15, last day, they meant this isn't your chance to do more evil and condemn yourself even worse. It is your last chance, was your last chance to serve, come clean, and earn one more time, I guess. But I think they've come to the end of their going round and round and round and repeating and repeating and repeating, because we're not going to be repeating another life with these people. That's just not even a possibility. It's especially after all the damage done and everything that they've done, and like, with all the hostility and hate and all that, and their inability to show any respect, I guess, or even live within the same reality psychologically. There's just no way. So yeah. So we're moving on past that as best as we can. And you know what? I'm going to save the rest of this for a different message later. So again, yeah, we're still rebuking and renouncing and rejecting all that is the enemy, all of them that we've rejected and repudiated in the past and listed as enemy or fitting into that category of enemy, remains rejected and renounced and repudiated and refuted and excluded from me and mine and my energies, having no access to me or mine or my energies, and cannot use me as a scapegoat or to benefit themselves or anything they have in any way. Again, heaven, amen, in the name of the truth and the light and the life, the Prince of Peace, our Father who art in heaven. Amen, amen, amen.